Thank you very much, Lawson. Now, this is going to be interactive. You guys will have to do some work and you'll have to talk to others. So I would like you to come a little closer. Okay, you don't have to talk to others. I highly recommend you talk to others. This is helpful. Sometimes articulating what you're going to do will increase the chances of you actually doing it. So I'd love for you guys to come down a little bit closer and find one or two other people to sit next to. So come and cozy up a little bit, and then we'll get started. Have you guys all got a friend next to you? Mostly, I think. This is great. Hopefully you're all friends with everybody at this stage of the conference. Okay, so if you're anything like me and you've had 20 one-on-ones straight and met all these people and your mind is buzzing, you might have gone, oh, wow, that was a cool conference. I met all these cool people. And then you're exhausted and then you're nap for the next day and, don't actually get round to doing any of the follow-up stuff, and you forget maybe the invigoration and the excitement that I'm hoping you guys got for the conference. I'm just basically saying this is how I feel after a conference. I'm just pretending you guys feel like this too. And so I'm basically going to go through tips on making sure you get the most out of this weekend. So that's the plan is I've actually got 6 tips. We're going to do the first 2 together, and then I'm going to give you the other 4. Maybe you guys can yell out some tips as well, and then we've got some time for you to actually start doing the things now, or setting yourself some kind of accountability thing for those, so that you do actually make the most of the conference. Cool. So the first thing you guys are going to do together is you're going to reflect on the conference, what you've learned and your goals. So you might want to think about, have you changed your mind about something? Were you surprised about something? Have you got any new goals for yourself? Oh, maybe I could try this particular career path, or maybe I should investigate this thing to donate to. So what I'd like you to do is spend, I'd say 30 seconds thinking, and then I'll get you to talk to your friends. I wasn't really watching the clock properly, but let's say that's 30 seconds. So turn to somebody next to you in a group of 2 or a group of 3. Make sure you're going to have someone to talk to. Tell them what you've learnt and whether you've got any new goals. And we'll have 3 minutes to discuss that. Okay, thank you so much. I guess maybe you learnt some things or have some goals. That's pretty cool. So the next tip is to make time and some kind of ability to have follow-up conversations. So what wanting to think about that is wanting you to think about, are there people that you talk to that might be able to help you with your career? They may have already helped you, but maybe you have follow-up conversations, or people that you didn't quite manage to meet this weekend. Maybe there's some possible collaborators on a project. Maybe there's people who could help you get funding. Maybe there's people who you might want to fund. And maybe there's just friends that you might want to continue to be friends with. So what I was thinking, you guys can hop on Swapcard. Now, Swapcard is people use it a lot during the conference, but they often don't kind of continue using, well, some of them, I don't know, they don't continue using Swapcard after the conference, but you might want to get out Swapcard right now on your phone and message somebody that you're I think that person is going to be valuable, or maybe I'm going to be valuable to them, and say, let's connect in the future. Here's my email address, or I don't know, here's some way of getting in touch. So I'll give you a minute and a half to do that. Find somebody on Swapcard, message them. Okie dokie. I'll give you an opportunity to finish that in a moment, but I'm just going to go through a 4 more different tips. So these next couple are good, especially if you're very new. I know there's a few newish people to EA in the audience, but I can see some I don't know, old guard folks as well. So one is to join community and events, or maybe run them. That would be cool. So a good place to find communities and events is the EA forum, forum.effectivealtruism.org. It's got like so much stuff on there now. If you guys are kind of old guard and you haven't like bothered to look in depth and dig around the forum recently, it is like way cooler than it was like, I don't know, even 6 months ago. And it's got way more features. It's kind of nifty. Anyway, there's like the sidebar looks like this, and there's lots of cool stuff. So if you just look at the homepage, the front page, you maybe didn't notice that there's all sorts of things there. And on the community side, you can find the local groups. There isn't a group on the, I don't know, Queensland, New South Wales border. That's just kind of like the general Australia, New Zealand group, in case you're wondering what's so exciting about the middle of nowhere there. And there's also online groups that you can join. And now, when you go on to the forum, you can sign up so that you can, not only you can make posts or like or upvote or downvote, do more upvoting, that's like friendly, that's what Rob Wiblin said to do, and make nice comments. And you can also sign up for notifications for your group, so you can get like email notifications, or you can get a little notification on the forum if you live on the forum. So that's a pretty cool place to go. Another thing would be to sign up for regular reminders. If you don't have lots of effective altruism friends and that you just talk about new ideas all the time, it's quite good to get like, I don't know, insert yourself some reminders now. So it could be signing up for the EA newsletters. There's actually a whole bunch of different newsletters, but there's one that's like, I don't know, for the whole world, and there's Australia ones and New Zealand ones, and 80,000 Hours also has a really cool newsletter. You might be able to subscribe to your podcast on your iTunes or Stitcher or something like that, and follow EA things on social media. Does anyone have like a real favourite like person on social media to follow that they want to yell out? Giving What We Can, yes, absolutely. Follow them on social media. They've also got a YouTube channel. It's pretty cool. Anybody else got a favourite thing? Yeah, you can follow Rob Wiblin on Twitter or Facebook. That's always quite exciting. There's like interesting threads there. Spencer Greenberg, he's not here, but one of his colleagues is at the conference. He has really interesting things too. I don't know. There's probably ones that you can find. Another thing you could do is learn more. If you're newish to the community, effectivealtruism.org is quite good. It has like a learn thing. There's an intro course. If you don't know about that, it's really cool. You meet with like 4 or 5 other people at a time that suits you every week for 8 weeks, and do some reading, learn some stuff, have some really great discussions. I have done a couple of those, and they're really cool. But there's also videos and books. And the forum is amazing for if you want to do a deep dive. And if you haven't been on it recently, there's like this like topics wiki. So if you go on the sidebar and it says topics, and then there's like a zillion different topics, you can go on this massive deep dive into some obscure side of effective altruism if you want to. Oh, 80,000 Hours also has a bunch of cool things to learn and read. But there's more. That was just, I don't know, my favourites. And then finally, I think it would be really cool to go do a good thing. So if you've got money, you could donate. Giving What We Can give you some awesome recommendations, and some of which are tax deductible in Australia and via the Effective Altruism Australia organisation. If you need a job, 80,000 Hours has like a great job board and information. There's a few other places that you can look, but that's kind of like a good first step. If you have a great idea, and you want feedback, post on the forum. Talk to your friends in your local group. Find somebody on Swapcard and ask them for advice. If you've got a great idea and you need money, there is lots of funding opportunities, as you know. So on the Effective Altruism Forum, if you go to the topics, there's, or you can just search for funding opportunities. There's like, this page has got lots of different options of where you could apply for funding. If you've got a cool idea, if you've got the ability, you think you might have the ability to execute on that idea, apply. If you're like, oh, I don't know if this is a good idea or like what to do and whether I'm good enough, you can like just like farm out that decision making to the funder and say, I don't know if I'm good enough. I'm going to let the funding, the grant making body work it out. So if you're feeling nervous, just apply. And I know Michael Ed's probably been saying that this week as well. He's one of the fund grant makers for the Long-Term Future Fund. So there's probably lots of other good things that you could do. So what I was thinking, we've kind of done the reflection already. You might have done the making of time to have follow-up conversations. But I was thinking for the next, 5 minutes, let's say, you guys could do some of these things. So you could either do it or you can set yourself a time to do it. Or you can get an accountability buddy. So on my very first EAGxAustralia, my very first person that I met became my best friend, and we're accountability buddies, and we talk every month, and we keep ourselves ambitious and learning cool things and doing hard things that make the world a better place. So you maybe find your new accountability buddy here. So set a time, put a Google Calendar or whatever calendar thing to like, oh yes, I'm going to sign up for one of those virtual programs. Or you can actually just sign up right now. So you can, 5 minutes to have a look using your phone, make commitments or ask somebody to hold you accountable. You guys can go off and do something. Tap on your phone. Thank you. Feel free to talk to your next door neighbour also about what you're doing. Okay, everybody. Could you raise your hand if you made a plan to do something? Stick up your hand. Oh, amazing. Okay, now think about, did you guys raise your hand if you've got a date on when you're going to do that thing? Okay, so there's a few less. Okay, if you didn't put your hand up for that, maybe I should have done the other way around. Anyway, if you don't have a date for the plan, then I recommend you have a date and you put it in your calendar. The other thing is, those of you who do have a date for a plan, I would like you to think about, cast your mind forward to the day, that date, and think, oh, it's now, June 2023, and I said I was going to do blah, blah, blah. And how surprised are you? So if you're like, oh yeah, I'm not surprised at all, I don't do plans all the time, that means that you maybe need to modify your plan, maybe don't be so nervous and ask for that accountability buddy to help, or set up some other system so you're likely to actually go ahead in the plan. If you're like, yeah, I think I will definitely do that. That sounds good. I feel like that's quite achievable and possible, or at least I'm going to give it a go. Then you've got a plan, and that's wonderful. So that is all, but I think I will put all of this stuff somehow on the swap card. I'm not exactly sure how. I don't know. We'll do something. And feel free to chat with me later. But do stick around here, because very shortly we're going to have Michael back for the closing talk.